of those years where they're last night, starting out always 45 and a little bit quick, which is one of the nervous boys trying to beat whoever's around you, regardless of whether they've got an orange vest on. Away we go. Ronnie Harris is away extremely well. I tell you who got away better though. I think that's his brother Bill who's going to lead this home deal. Because that is going to be Harris v Harris down towards you, buddy. That's a pair of Harris brothers going down. Like, don't know what pair of Harris hawks. It certainly is. Look, Ronnie ahead of Bill. That's Jack Bettis up there in third place. Is ahead of Will Howard. That's a top four. A little bit of a gap back to fifth position. With a very slight gap, that is, in the Minitwin racing. But as they head towards Island Bend, there's certainly the Harris brothers 1 and 2. And he said Ronnie Harris had a good weekend at Southampton. Bill Harris had an up and down weekend. I think it's Harris building. Yes, that's a diplomatic way of wording that one. But that was all in the past now because he's up there into second position, chasing after his brother. And 660 Ronnie Harris, 141 Bill Harris. That was the order as they left my side. And coming over hilltop now and heading towards his chicane. And that is quite a big advantage there, actually, Keith. I don't know if you've got the sector times already, but no, we don't get the sector times to go up the hill, actually, mate. I would say that is about a second gap between Ronnie Harris and Bill Harris. Then it's Will Howard ahead now of Jack Bettis, and then it is Steve Hopkins and Jack Noble through number 24. Jack Noble is the Rockies. There is Rob Ryan as well. He's down in the he didn't kind of one of his fellow Rocky races. So Rob Ryan moves up one more position under the bridge side by side, and a good battle at the rear of the field as well. That's between the number 17 machine of Simon Fernley and I think on the Tony Hood as well. But Harris 1 and 2, Will Howard there in third. Well, the Harris brother Bill, he was the first one of the Harris brothers to actually win a Minitwin race, even though Ronnie did in fairness took one the quicker of the two. And the character building day, we had 3 crashes, 1 in qualifying, 1 in each of the races as well. So that's why the Saturday at Brands had a particularly short start to the season. They've come across the line. The advantage for Ronnie over Bill is 2.2 seconds. Ours is another 1.1 back from in there. Jack Bettis, Steve Costin is up next. Then it is the first of the rookies. Impressive right there by Jack Noble ahead of Brian Mayer, Martin Sigurdsson, Kev Lilly, James Nudge. Kev going back to quite a few places there. Wolf is up next, second of the rookies. He's in 11th place, ahead of Mitch Ducran, who has moved up 11 places on that particular lap. So I'll keep an eye on the lap time. Maybe we'll he's in for a good result here, but more importantly, put himself in a better position for the next race. King, Lindsay, Sales, Dickinson, Turnbull, Bryant, Whibley, Fernley, Healy, Parsons, Elliott, Chambers, Goodrow, Wood, first Fernley, and Jordan. So there we go, that's your top 30. So the leaders are down, working their way around the back of the circuit at Island, and then they're heading up towards Izzy's, not Izzy's, you're down at Brenton's, Brenton's, over the hilltop, Will Howard is in the wheel tracks now of Bill Harris. So Will Howard has dropped Jack Bettis there. Jack Bettis in 4th place, Steve Hopkins, Jack Noble, Ken Lilly, James Nard, and then that's the 217 machine of Martin Sigurdsson. Between Lance Jordan and Simon Fernley, they're elbows well though as they went in towards Cascade. So whether you're at the front of the field or the back of the field, it's great racing all the way around, as you'd expect in the MRO Minitwins. I'm looking at the sector times here, mate. Past the first sector is Ronnie Harris, they're getting 18.997. The only other one in the sub 120 is indeed Will Howard there. Will is now come across the line, quarter of a second behind Bill Harris. I think that's going to be a battle for second place. But the fastest man on the track, Ronnie Harris, 48.851. The only other man sub 150 though is again Howard with a 49.8 there. So it's interesting to see if Howard can close that gap to Ronnie Harris. But of course, we've only got 5 laps around here, and already he's over 4 seconds back. Ronnie Harris is absolutely flying. kid, isn't he, mate? He really is. Those Will Howards, they seem to carry a little bit more corner speed around Cascades, as that's on the approach towards Island Bend as well. So between Cascades and Island Bend, there's a little bit of a stretch there where it can use that momentum. But Island Bend, that's a brave corner, I think. You certainly kind of pair a Cody when you do there quickly if you try hard, that's for sure. Yeah, that's a wonderful wide shot, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, down in towards his end, that is Ronnie Harris, and it's still Bill Harris out in front of Will Howard, it is indeed, so 660, that's Ronnie Harris. Through the left over to the right now, change of direction and power on up towards Clay Hill. Next is Bill Harris still ahead of Will Howard, so both on the All Black machine. Jack Metis and Steve Costin are up next. We've got Steve Costin's closed the gap a little bit on this lap. And then Kevin Brian there and Jack Noble, so pretty much equidistant between number 19, 115 and 24. Mitchie Cran's trying to find a way through. Martin Siggins, but no avail at the moment. Is Rob Ryan up there in contention in the rookie Minitwins. He's got clear track in front of him now. He doesn't punch his way past nine drivers. He's got now. With the clear track in front of him. Ronnie Harris has got a very clear track in front of him because there's nobody in front of him. He's come across the line this time for 48.915. Just 40 seconds slower than his previous best. Where Bill Harris is second across the line, though, he's still now he's half a second ahead of Will Howard, actually, so Will not quite able to find his way past up, looks like he was going to do so that time. Dennis Foster, Lily Mayer have come across the line. Connor Wolf Jack Noble still leads the rookie because he's lost a couple of places. Connor Wolf stays second, but Rob Bryant's getting a little bit closer to him, but albeit 7 seconds back. Sales goes back one, Wibley goes up 3 places on that lap, so he's now fourth of the rookie Minitwins. So it's a good little battle all the way down through the field, as you mentioned before, Bradley. You can easily find somebody to play with. I'll let you know it's Ronnie Harris. Seems to be no mate Ronnie at the moment, doesn't he? Nobody wants to play with the guy. That certainly seems to be the case. He's already over the hilltop and heading towards braking zone. Here it is. And obviously the tail end is just making the way up towards Waterworks and Druids. So it looks like that battle at the rear of the field. But it's not currently, unless Jordan has cooled off now. Jordan put some distance between himself and his rival. But 141, Bill Harris still leading that particular battle with second, so it's still heading the 96 of Will Howard. Steve Costin again closer than what he was the previous time around on Jack Bettis, so 27 Jack Bettis in fourth. Then it is Steve Costin rounding out the top five as he comes past point here. Kevin Lee, Brian Mayer and Jack Noble just being dropped a little bit by Brian Mayer, but still leading the way in the rookies. And it's Mitchie Brown, who has got number 79 right behind him. That's Connor Wolf from Leon C. He's second of the rookies at the moment, ahead of Martin Siggins, and then there's Rob Ryan rounding off the podium positions at this stage on 5606. Dave now seems to be characteristic slow move. One of these top next, he's just being a couple of laps back actually, so I think might have that. I'm sure what's happened to James there. Ronnie Harris might be running into some back marker traffic at some point actually. Maybe let's just see one of the back markers, I'm quite sure which one of them that is, but he's just come across the line. And Ronnie Harris has across the line, not too much after him, so I think there might be some back marker action. Won't affect Ronnie at all, but that battle between Bill and Will, that could play a little bit of a part in it. Same with the battle between Jack and Steve there as well. All these little battles, and then back marker in there, Lily and Mayer, another pair of course who are very close. And then you've got that battle between Wolf and Siggins, albeit for the minor placings, but it all counts, doesn't it, Bradley? Certainly does. All riders just running on here and outbreaking themselves at the his chicane. Got me mixing the chicane, doesn't it? Good. But the battle of Circuit Riverside down and just rejoining behind the number 88 of Lance Jordan. But the race leader is with us. He's already through on the tail end of that keep. It's Ronnie Harris. So is it the last lap? We've got one more to go. In fact, I think we are on the last lap. I just realised the old hurry up flag is showing down there, and Bill Harris on the inside of the tail end. Will Howard around the outside. Yeah, Steve Costin hard on the brakes, but not close enough to make the move on. Jack Baptiste, number 27, still holding on to fourth place. Just a few more corners to go in that particular two-way scrap. The next two-way fight is right behind us. Kevin Lee and Brian Mayer. And Brian Mayer is so close to the rear end of the number 19 machine. Jack Noble leading the way in the Rockies. And Mitchie Brown is through on Martin Siggins, but can't quite find his way through on the 79 of Connor Wolf at the moment. Or that'll be an any class. sorry, an on-track battle with a post-engine class, but there is Rob Ryan and everybody through safely as well. Chicken flag 5 and Ronnie Harrison, never looking to take the flag by 5 seconds on Will Harrison. He's just taking the hit of Will Harrison. And the next battle here would be, and that is Jack Curtis just out of the top by 0.133 of a second. Lily and Mayer goes away. Lily is away to stand on the fences there. A little bit of a lonely race there for Jack Noble, but nonetheless another 25 points challenge for the rookie championship. Misha Grant's come across the line to the 56.4, so nothing super special there, but it's certainly going to move up a long way from where he was before. So that should give him probably a third row start actually, maybe a fourth row, but certainly no lower than that. Anyway, Mitch is finished ahead of Connor Wolf. There is Martin Siggins. Rob Ryan, third of the rookies. Connor was the second of the rookies. There, Brennan Wimbley is fourth of the rookies in 14th place overall. He follows, and Sales O'Brien, who comes across in 13, sorry. Egginson, King, Healy, Fernley, Lindsay, Turnbull are the rest of your top 20.